Imagine receiving a letter today, but the letter is dated yesterday. Your mind pauses for a moment. How could something that arrived today already belong to yesterday? This simple idea reveals a secret about manifestation that Neville Goddard taught many times. He explained that manifestation becomes powerful when you move the event into the past inside your imagination. Most people imagine their desire as something in the future. I will get the money, I will meet the right person, my life will change soon. But when the mind places something in the future, it keeps it distant. The future is always moving forward. It never becomes now. Neville suggested something radically different. Instead of imagining the event will happen, assume it already happened yesterday. This small shift changes the entire feeling inside your mind. Think about the difference. If something will happen tomorrow, you feel anticipation, you feel waiting, you feel uncertainty. But if something happened yesterday, you feel relief. The event is already done. You do not wonder if it will happen, you simply remember that it happened. And this feeling of completion is the key. Neville often spoke about what he called living in the end. Instead of imagining the process, the struggle, or the steps, you imagine the moment after the wish is fulfilled. But there is an even deeper layer to this. When you assume it happened yesterday, time itself collapses. Your mind no longer pushes the desire forward, it pulls the experience into the present moment, because psychologically, yesterday is already part of your reality. You cannot change yesterday. It is already written. So when the mind accepts that something happened yesterday, it stops trying to make it happen, it simply accepts it as fact. And acceptance is far more powerful than effort. Think of how you remember a real event from yesterday. You do not try to force it to be real, you simply recall it. You remember the feeling, the conversation, the relief. You might say to yourself, I'm so glad that happened. Neville recommended imagining a short scene that would imply your wish has already been fulfilled, then feel it as though it occurred yesterday, not tomorrow, not next week, but yesterday. For example, imagine you desired financial freedom. Instead of imagining money arriving in the future, you might think quietly, yesterday everything finally worked out. Then allow your mind to replay a simple memory. Maybe you imagine telling a friend, yes, it all worked out yesterday. Notice the feeling that appears. There is no tension, no struggle, just calm satisfaction. That feeling is the state Neville wanted people to enter. He believed imagination is not merely fantasy. He believed imagination is the creative power of reality. According to his teachings, the world you see around you is a reflection of the state you occupy within. When the inner state changes, the outer world rearranges itself to match it. But the mind must first accept the new reality, and the easiest way to do that is to place the event in the past. The mind argues with the future. It asks questions. How will this happen? When will it happen? What if it does not happen? But the mind rarely argues with the past. Yesterday already feels settled. So by imagining your desire as something that already happened yesterday, you remove the resistance that normally blocks manifestation. This is why Neville emphasized feeling, not forcing, not visualizing perfectly, just entering the natural feeling that the wish has already been fulfilled. The moment the feeling becomes natural, the work is done. You do not need to repeat it constantly. You do not need to watch for signs. You simply move through life knowing it is already part of your story, in the same way that yesterday is part of your story. And strangely, when the mind stops chasing the desire, reality begins to rearrange itself. People appear, opportunities show up, circumstances shift. It often feels as if events begin moving toward you instead of you chasing them. Neville explained this by saying that reality is constantly reshaping itself to match the state of consciousness you occupy. So if your state is one of already having, life must eventually mirror that state. This is why he said imagination creates reality, not because imagination is pretending, but because imagination is the place where reality is first experienced. When you imagine something vividly and naturally enough, your mind begins to accept it as part of your identity. And once it becomes part of your identity, the world reorganizes itself to reflect it. So tonight, instead of imagining your desire happening someday, try something much simpler. Close your eyes for a moment, take a slow breath, then gently say to yourself, it happened yesterday. Allow your mind to remember it the way you remember any event from yesterday. Feel the quiet relief, the calm satisfaction, the simple knowing that it is done. If the feeling becomes natural, you have already done the most important part, because the moment your inner world accepts something as real, the outer world begins to follow.